Hello everyone, it's time for another garden field trip. It is July, I believe, the 14th, and things are growing. Some things not so good, other things are growing really well. So let's get the tour started. Now I'm sure you all can remember my weed patch of beets, and there are carrots in there. Again, you can't see it too well, but it's too much work to get rid of it now, so I'm just leaving it. Down there I did till up a patch, see if I can zoom in for you. Down there I did till up a patch of weeds a little bit ago to get dirt for the potatoes. Here we got my row of onions, which you should be able to see there. They're doing quite well. The potatoes, they have really taken off. The plants that are actually growing well are definitely producing potatoes, or should produce potatoes. It's hard to really see the row of potatoes there, but the bigger plants are right in the front here. These things grew a foot in about a week and a half, and I hilled up dirt around them, probably about, I don't know, 6 to 8 inches, maybe a foot in some of them, and they've already outgrown that. So I did dig up a small potato. I did dig up a small plant before just to check it out, one that didn't look too hot, and there actually was a little potato on there, and it did taste pretty good. Okay, down to the more productive plants. We have our eggplant there, which is starting to flower. Another eggplant, which is starting to flower. Then we have my row 27, I believe, or 28 tomato plants, something like that. 25, I think 25 tomato plants. Range from cherry to Roma to what have you. They're producing very well. You can see down in there, nice set of cherry tomatoes. Some of the plants are outgrowing my stakes that my rings that I have put in here, but as you can see, they're all flowering very well. This here's an early grow variety, and it's just loaded down with tomatoes. There's some in there, there's some in there, there's some up here, over here. Same thing again, this is another early grow variety. You can see all those nice tomatoes in there. Some of the plants aren't even aren't that big. Like this is another, this is a Brandywine Red. But you see there's some nice tomatoes on there, even though the plant size is pretty small. I do have, look, there's another whole setup. I do have a big boy, here we go, big boy variety, and look how big those tomatoes are getting. Those are the biggest tomatoes I have on here so far. None of them are turning yet, but the lemon boy variety, I shouldn't say they're turning, but they're getting a lighter shade, so those will probably be turning before any of the other ones will, especially because these are also the first ones that put on blooms. Alright, now we're down here to the broccoli and cauliflower row. The cauliflower is doing very well. There's just 6 of them this year, doing very well. And then we get into the broccoli. Some of the broccoli, all of them I have them staked a bit because the wind that comes through here is so great that it actually can break them over. And this one here I used to call my freak broccoli, but now it's just an average size as another one, because it unfortunately got blown over a couple weeks ago and half the stem broke. But as you can see, I got some nice little heads of broccoli forming. There's one there, and I think there's another one somewhere, but that's the biggest head that I got so far. Now onto the zucchini squash. I don't have to walk too far. Look at that one. There's one right in there, 2 inches long already. And these are the rest of my shadow zucchini squash. I got 20 of the zucchini variety, the onyx, just the green. And the plants are growing big every day. This one, I believe, where is it at? Here we go. This one here has a nice flower on it, and where are we at? There we go, focus. And a nice size zucchini on there already. The other plants are doing quite well. No other ones are flowering quite yet, but they'll be coming along. As you can see if I can get in there for you. You see all those buds? Right there's going to be one. All these buds in there, so we're going to need quite a haul of zucchini. Look, there's some more. Very nice. And I got my different varieties. I got some patty pan, some crook neck, some straight neck. And then here, these 5, actually it's 6. I think that one is as well, but these 5, I didn't believe they weren't advertised as a binding variety, but obviously with the little tendrils there, It's climbing up this stake very fast, and there's even right there, that's a small squash. See if I can get it zoomed in there. There you go. And I think that this thing's going to take over this ring as well as all these other ones, without question. Now on to the peppers. Got some nice sized bell peppers. There you go. The bell pepper plants, which are these, I believe, oh geez, I don't know, 20, 30 plants. They're all doing fairly well. Some of them, I mean, the plants are getting, some of them are a little bigger than they were last time. Like these couple right in here. Let's see if I can show you. They're doing really well. And then we get down here, let me show you the varieties that are really taking off. Here we go. We got the cayenne pepper. Look at that one on there. That thing's probably close to 5 inches long. See if you can see it. And this plant is just, I'm not sure if you can see it in there, it's just loaded down with little peppers. Same thing with this one. And then look at the size. This is actually a yellow bell. Look at the size of that pepper. I mean, that's my hand. I mean, it's not huge by any standards, but it's pretty big for this time of year. And this one, excuse me, this here, these are my hot bananas. You can get in there, look at those things. That is loaded down. These I think are maybe on the scale like maybe a 4 to 5, 5 to 6 hotness out of 10. And then you come down into here, and this is a red bell pepper. I mean, they all start out green, but that one's loaded down too. And here we got a row. You can see the row more down there and up here, just a bit of weeds. This is my row of yellow bush beans. I think they're, I'm not sure what variety, so I won't try to guess. If you want to know the variety, I can get that for you really easy. Just leave it in a comment below. But this thing, try to get out of my shadow, is flowering like crazy. And see if I can find one. Here we go. See it right there? It's already starting. That doubled in size since yesterday afternoon. Starting to put on pods. Very nice. My blue leg pole beans, which didn't do very well in the early spring, but they're definitely climbing now. Next year I think I'll have to invest in a type of netting, because they seem to they don't grow up as easily as the peas do, but they do have nice, runners on them that they collect. They're not flowering yet, but I believe once they start, they won't stop. My second row of pole beans, again, they're about a week behind, but they're also doing well. Here I got some peas, and the rows may look a little blown over, if you will, which actually, from looking at it, it's definitely blown over. Something broke, I believe. I'll have to check that out. But just because of the winds that we've been having, it's been wreaking havoc on my trellising system here. But no worries, the plants are still healthy and they'll be fine. And here we have a row of cucumber. I don't think these cucumber are going to make it. We got a couple right there that are growing pretty nicely, but they should have been that size a month ago. As you go farther down the road, I'm not going to walk all the way down there, but they get smaller and smaller, and they're not doing very well. I'm very displeased. I mean, it could have been because of the wet spring, or they were planted too early, or what, I really don't know, but unfortunately, I don't think I'm going to get many cucumbers. However, the sweet corn, which is these 6 rows, you can see the rows, it's roughly 600 feet altogether. I thinned that out the other day, and they're doing very well. Some of the ones in these first 2 in the 3rd row, about a week, 2 weeks ago, they were real yellow and small, and they weren't growing at all. We haven't had any rain, but something kick-started them, and now they're starting to green up and actually grow. I have some nice sized nice sized stalks, so hopefully we'll get some production out of that. And down here again, this is another area where you can just see an overview of it. Things are growing quite well. Some things are growing quite well. Other things are not. My summer of melon blend, which was this whole row and the row below it, I hardly got any plants out of it. The plants that I have are this size, and that's what the plants should have been, 6 weeks ago. However, we get into other kinds of pumpkins and watermelons. I'm not exactly sure what I have here or where they are because I didn't take detailed notes. But as you can see, they're growing quite well. As you go along farther, I believe these are watermelons. Watermelon, they have a different type of leaf. But again, they're growing very slow. Here's one out of my shadow that's doing half decent, but again, you know, it's a month behind easily. And down here is another variety. Once I start putting on pumpkins, I'll be able to differentiate them a little bit more, but none of them are putting on any flowers. And then down here, these are the bigger ones. These are the big plants. That one right here, this one, and this one is probably the biggest plants I got out here right now. They're vining. They're not flowering yet or anything. Not according to yesterday anyway. They're not flowering, but they got tons of little buds on them. So we should get quite a bit of pumpkin this year. As we continue on, here I got another set of pumpkin. Doing quite well. Alright, and now we move down to things that actually are producing very well. These are gourds, 2 sets of gourds. I'm not really going to thin them out too much. I'm just going to let them do what they do, and we'll see what we get. Now these cucumbers, compared to the ones that I just showed you, are doing, you know, much better. And these were planted roughly 10 days after those other ones. So it might have just been the climate that these got stunted a bit. The other ones got stunted, but these are doing pretty well. See if I can zoom in there for you for a nice one. It's a nice plant, but I mean it's still weeks behind. It should be vining up this trellis by now. Now let me back up here, and this is the Swiss chard. There you go, the big one right there. This stuff here tastes somewhat like spinach. I think it tastes somewhat almost like what you would think a corn stalk would taste like, a little bit of a sweet corn taste, but this is just one row and just a short quarter row here. But this stuff can be picked even now. It can be picked anytime once it starts growing. And next door here we have our carrot. You can see the carrot rows. Down here there's weeds, but there's less thick weeds. But you can see our carrot row there. They'll be thinned out and probably, I don't know, maybe they wouldn't even be thinned out. I'll have to kind of get down there and see. And here I have a row and a quarter, a row and a third of yellow bush beans again. And actually these were planted about 10 days, a week after my main row, and they're flowering already, which I was kind of hoping they'd be off by about a week or two, but they're not. And here we got 3 rows of onion. Hopefully you can pick those out. They're doing quite well. I got to water these things. We haven't had rain in over 3 weeks here, so there's a couple things they're doing okay, but these onions, some of them are starting to yellow, and I believe it's due to the moisture level. But some of these onions, I'm not going to dig any up now. I mean, they're not pickable size yet. Oh, my shadow. But hopefully we get some good onions out of this. And again, here these are cucumbers. These have been this same size for the past 4 weeks. They've been watered, they've been fertilized, nothing. A couple of them are getting a little bigger, and trust me, it's not because of the weeds. Because, you know, if you look where everything else is planted, everything else is in weeds as well as these down here, and they're doing, you know, 10 times as good. So I believe that's everything. Sorry for the long video, but my videos tend to be long. I have to fix my pea lines here because they obviously broke, not so much down at the bottom, but up towards the top. I've seen some of them actually snapped, and I'm sure that's because of the wind. But here, I'll leave you with my last. These are my giant peas that are growing. These are, you know, your waist high. These are 3 feet high almost, and they're flowering like crazy. If you see it there, I don't think there are any pods on anywhere, pea pods, but I'm sure they're not far behind. Alright, till next time, I'll get this uploaded soon, hopefully. Well, you'll see it when it's uploaded. If there's any questions or comments or suggestions, you know, please let me know. All comments and everything like that is appreciated. Like it, dislike it. I don't think too many people watch my videos here, but the ones that do, thank you. And please leave a comment below to let me know that you watch it and what you think of it. Alright, till next time.